Today we have got a brutally honest review of Dead Island and a new preview of the free-to-play shooter Firefall.
Plus, we'll get some FaceTime with the voice of Mass Effect's FemShep and show you a game starring Jerry Rice.
Yep.
And his dog.
Uh-huh.
Seriously. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the show that does not have a green screen. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. What you're looking at is 100% real.
Coming up on today's show, a free game that doesn't look like ass. We'll preview the MMORPG shooter, Firefall. Then we're going to get some FaceTime with Jennifer Hale, a.k.a. FemShep from Mass Effect. She is the hardest working voice actor in games, next to Nolan North.
Plus, Kristen Adams has a cheat for Portal 2, and later a giant WTF. We'll introduce you to Jerry Rice and Nitus's dog football. This is a game. What's next? Adam Sessler, Jezebel's cat soccer?
How is Jezebel?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go for it.
Do you like zombies?
Of course.
Do you like playing role-playing games?
To an embarrassing degree.
I know, it is pretty embarrassing.
And I like the video games, too.
But here's the most important question of all. Do you like glitches and bugs? Because there are a whole bunch in Dead Island.
See, now I'm just filled with sadness.
Here's our review. Enjoy.
Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Who do you voodoo, bitch?
If you're officially bored with the zombie trend, it's probably best you stay away from Dead Island. The overall mechanics are fine, but the only significant change this game makes to the genre is moving the outbreak location. You play as one of 4 thinly sketched characters who are mysteriously immune to the zombie plague.
Said you were resistant to whatever this is.
Subtle.
You got no symptoms, but those aren't love bites, are they?
It's a good thing you can't become a zombie, because the action in Dead Island emphasizes close-ranged combat.
First, you need to get hold of a weapon.
We have to admit, it's pretty fun to discover a random weapon nearby and start bashing zombies in the face.
Thanks, mates.
Repairing your weapons costs money, so it's important to keep in mind that you lose cash every time you die.
What the do you want from me?
Oh, and for some reason, cola magically replenishes your health. Because if there's anything we learned from the nation's obesity epidemic, it's that drinking high-calorie sugar water makes you stronger.
I'm stronger.
Stronger with diabetes. On the day 1 release, the game was loaded with glitches. After an initial patch for the PC version, developers announced via Twitter that they are, quote, working on a multitude of patches and updates for all platforms. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but Dead Island's largest problem is not a technical one. It's a feeling of general malaise, brought on by rehashed zombie plot points. Nothing makes you realize their writing is hacky quite like hearing a third-rate voice actor struggle to deliver it.
My wife. My dad. Oh, my own brother. What else could I do? Let him kill me?
On the other hand, the open-world gameplay works nicely for a zombie game.
Oh, thank God.
Listen, if you don't mind an overwhelming sense of familiarity, then Dead Island may be worth a visit. It's a 3.
1, 2, 3.
Out of 5.
So zombies, I think it's fair to say they become something of a permanent fixture in games over the years. Even if they're not called zombies, there's a lot of games that still have zombies in them. Is this the solar flare of this generation?
That's an interesting analogy. Here's the thing, man. I'm really tired of them. But as we talked about, what do we have? Do we have can we do vampires now? No, vampires.
The Tutorial Girls ruined that. The
Yes.
world ruined werewolves.
Yeah. So I think personally, and we've talked about this, warlocks. Julian Sands, he's still alive, I think. Put him in a ponytail, put him in a game.
That's not bad.
He'll be badass.
I mean, look, I think part of the appeal of zombies in games isn't so much what they represent, but what they allow for in the game is a lot of enemies on screen at once that are all rushing you.
Right.
It's really just an enemy type that they could probably pull away from like the rotting flesh, and we wouldn't see it for what it really is.
Very true. Also, though, I like the fact that in this console generation, we strive to have better enemy AI. but most people are clamoring for the dumbest enemy AI of all time, which makes no sense to me.
Which
whatsoever.
is just like, zombies don't flank you all that much.
No.
They like flank, but not, flanking.
Or they will flank you, but you know they're doing it because it takes them a long time
But
to get there.
I think the one thing that we can all agree on, the benefit, and we see this, not so much actually in Dead Island and so many other zombie games. If it weren't for zombies, I don't think we would see the massive improvement in shotgun tech in video games this generation.
That's very true, sir.
Yes.
That's very true.
Resistance 3-1 sets them on
So
fire.
good, so good. It is one thing worth mentioning, though, speaking of zombies in Dead Island, the tone of the trailer, not so much in the zombie game.
Okay, there was a father and a child. There was a sense that there was some emotional weight, some loss. Something that was really at stake for you is the character in the game, your child.
Right.
The actual game, from the minute it starts, has a rather nasty flavor and attitude.
Sure.
Everyone's kind of just this kind of raw stereotype, and I really couldn't care less about anybody.
Yeah, I agree with you. And
In the game and in life.
Okay.
Let's send it over to Morgan.
Right now, it is a great time to be a broke-ass gamer. You don't have to spend your days begging for money, stealing games from stores, or breaking into apartments. You can just stay home and dive into free-to-play games like Firefall. It looks just as good as any modern shooter, and we've got all the details in this preview. Yes, there are guns. Yes, there are classes. And yes, there are plenty of things to decimate with your trusty rifle. But if you think Firefall is just another standard team-based shooter, you have another thing coming.
With Firefall, we're trying to completely revolutionize the concept of free-to-play. Firefall, at its core, is an online team-based action shooter. And we are super excited to bring together a highly competitive esports-style multiplayer game with a massive open-world cooperative campaign.
Expect the campaign to unfold much differently than most other shooters.
You're actually sharing this online world with hundreds of other players at any given time, running your own campaign story missions, as well as participating in different dynamic events, different activities, running different jobs, collecting resources, and advancing your character.
Character advancement relies primarily on leveling up your battle frames.
So in Firefall, your class is derived by the equipment that you're wearing, your battle frame. And each battle frame you level up independently, and you can truly customize. You can change out your backpack, which is really a personal-sized crystite reactor, and that's what powers your suit. You can also install ability modules, battle frame modules, and then mix and match your weapons with also weapon modules.
Now, Firefall may be free to play, but let Mr. McCauley make one thing clear.
We want Firefall to be free to play and not pay to win. We're not going to sell the BFG 10,000 so that someone can just come in and wipe your team out. That's not fun for anyone. So our microtransactions are really around certain bonuses, perks, and items of convenience, ways to save you time, ways to give you leveling bonuses and things like that.
Expect Firefall to release this December 2011.
All right, coming up, I'm going to take out my trusty old iPad to read your very cruel emails. Plus, we're going to get some FaceTime with Shep, contemplate the existence of Jerry Rice and Nitus's dog football. That's a game. And get Chris and Adams to help you cheat your way through Portal 2. We'll be right back. Guess what? Got my iPad, and you know what that means. It's time for someone to question my sexuality in an email. Yep, there it is right there. Time for the X-Play inbox. Our first question comes from Mike, who thinks that modern casual games are just the new arcade games. Mike says they're retro, simple game mechanics that constantly challenge you to push forward to the next level with increasing difficulty. What's your take?
It's a different incentive because arcade games were about you putting in another quarter, and that's not how it works when you're holding an iPhone or an iFriend or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, they want to provide, I think the iPhone games especially want to provide sort of like bite-sized experiences, so when you have 5 minutes, you can play a couple levels of Angry Birds or something like that, versus the arcade games which wanted you to play as long as possible. But
And also their names, like Plants vs. Zombies, that's there so you buy it. They don't care if you play it after you buy it, they just want that initial purchase.
But there is something we said we hear a lot, like, oh, I haven't played games since Pac-Man, which is weird. But we hear that from people all the time, and it's like now they have casual games to kind of fulfill that need, so they can have those and we can have ours.
Fulfill your needs.
Okay. MJ wrote in, when do you think the next Xbox will be out? These consoles are making me thirsty.
I don't know why everyone feels they need a new Xbox. I can't figure out what the one that I have isn't doing. Except for, sending me money.
I mean, the problem with... They're not sending money. The problem with... Just so you guys know, the problem with sort of getting a new console generation is it takes a while for people to get up to speed.
Yeah, exactly.
And people forget that sort of game drought at the beginning of a console generation, or you get these 4-hour Heavenly Sword type games. So it's kind of nice, we have a lot of the tech. We're getting really amazing games right now, so just love it and appreciate it.
Compare Gears 1 to Gears 3. Also, to actually answer your question, you're probably going to get it in 2014.
All right. Next, Yegor writes in from the Eastern Bloc. With the growing popularity of the cloud, do you think that this will phase out Blu-ray and DVD? Do you think the next consoles will be cloud only?
Nope.
Nope.
That's all I have to say. No.
Especially proper cloud gaming. I mean, some people are getting confused that digital delivery systems is the same thing as cloud.
Yeah, it is not necessarily the same thing. I think eventually we're going to see all downloadable games or even cloud gaming. However, they know that the transition is going to be slow. They know that not everybody has fast connections, and people are really used to having a physical piece of media. So it's going to be very easy for them to just kind of keep that in the console's legacy.
Yeah.
And
as I just said, 2014 is probably when we expect to see something new from Sony and Microsoft. That's too soon to expect people to make a transition so dramatically.
And do I really want to download a Blu-ray, a game that was put on a Blu-ray disc? I don't.
You're not playing a 300-plus hour game like Skyrim by downloading it. Not going to happen. And finally, Peter has the ultimate Sophie's Choice question. He asks, if you could only afford 2 of the following 3 games, which would you choose? These are going to be tough, guys. The games are Assassin's Creed Revelations, Skyrim, and Uncharted 3.
I'm trying to think of the Nazis actually asking me this question. just
Under
to add
torture?
to the drama of it, yeah.
It's one of those things all of those games will eventually come out as sort of their, greatest hits versions. They'll get cheaper eventually. So eventually you'll be able to kind of get all of them.
Or what you can do is don't buy any of them and just play Dead Island.
Don't do that.
No.
I liked it, guys. Loyal viewers, thank you for all of your questions. Remember, you can write to xplay@g4tv.com.
Now, if you've ever played a video game, and I'm guessing you have?
Probably.
Otherwise, maybe you're just dead in front of the TV. Anyway, you probably heard the voice work of Jennifer Hale.
Yeah, she's appeared in Metal Gear Solid, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, and Brutal Legend, but she's probably best known for her role as Commander Shepard in Mass Effect.
She's known as FemShep.
Yes.
Yes, which I first thought was a condition, but apparently it's a character. Anyway, we got some FaceTime to find out what the job's like.
It's been a long journey, and no one's coming out without scars. But it all comes down to this moment.
Now that's a woman I'd follow into battle. Strong, commanding, and gutsy. It's Jennifer Hale's voice that instilled these qualities into everyone's favorite commander. We spent some time with Ms. Hale to discuss how she breathed life into such an iconic character.
I think the broad appeal of FemShep is, well, she's well written, and the way BioWare's put these games together, you get to hang on to your choices and your consequences, and that's a rare thing to go, through a trilogy that way. And I think the great thing about FemShep is that she's a strong female leader, and we need more of those.
If we stick together, we'll make it.
With a character as complex as Shepard, it's surprising to note that Ms. Hale relies on very little to create such a believable voice.
When we're recording lines, we don't see anything, although occasionally we will have the benefit of watching a cinematic in sort of its rough form.
Make me proud.
The ability to create such a believable voice developed over many years of voice acting.
Apparently, I've been in over 100 games. Metal Gear Solid, I'm Naomi Hunter.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
Metal Gear 2, I was Emma Emmerich.
Who are you?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Talk of an escape is somewhat premature, don't you think?
Metroid Prime, Samus, the original, and lots of them.
With so many projects under her belt, there was definitely something special about being Commander Shepard.
I love the character. She's an awesome leader.
Awesome indeed. We can't wait to see her vocal talents return in Mass Effect 3 in March of 2012.
This is Commander Shepard, and G4 is my favorite website on the Citadel.
Coming up after the break, Kristen Adams has a cheat that reveals the real story behind Portal 2. Plus, I'll try to make sense of Jerry Rice and Nitus' dog football, which comes with a dog bone sleeve for your Wiimote. Yep, I didn't make any of that up.
all the latest news and updates about what X-Play's having for lunch, just follow us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/XPlay and click like, just so you know, I'm having tears. Portal 2 is a great game with an honest-to-goodness story, but you won't get the big picture if you don't know where to look. Good thing you have cheats from Kristen Adams.
Portal 2 is full of secrets and hidden rooms, and finding them will not only give you a greater insight into the story, but glorious achievements to boost your gamer score. Oh, and there's also the biggest Half-Life tease you could ever imagine. If you're looking for more reasons to gloat in GLaDOS' face, here are a few more achievements to add to your collection.
I hate you so much.
Oh, GLaDOS, you're so sweet.
Sarcasm self-test complete.
If you're an admirer of art, then you'll definitely appreciate this achievement. Lady in the Portrait. In Chapter 7, after you've completed the orange propulsion test chamber here, walk through the exit ahead of you. Shoot a portal here. Then shoot another portal here. Walk through and turn towards the room here. Step into the room and turn to your right. Then you should see a portrait of Cave Johnson and his lovely assistant, Caroline.
They look so familiar.
Next up, we have the Ship Overboard achievement. Towards the end of Chapter 6, you want to reach this room. To do so, shoot a portal on the floor here. Then shoot a portal near this walkway above you. Follow it to this room here. Walk over to this corner and enter the door behind the machine. Follow the hall until you reach another walkway. Turn to your left and you'll find an inner tube with an interesting little reference to a ship mentioned in Half-Life 2, Episode 2.
Welcome to Aperture.
Lastly, for the final transmission achievement, you'll need to bring this radio to a secret room in the Advanced Aerial Faith Plate Test Chamber. First, push this button here to launch a pile of garbage towards you and the radio you need. Shoot a portal there. Then shoot a portal over here. Enter the portal taking the radio with you. Shoot a portal in this corner. Then shoot another portal here. Take the radio and jump on the faith plate. Within a few short flights, you should find yourself in this secret room and a nice little achievement. Aperture Science may be full of secrets, but they can't stay hidden for long, especially when you have us on your side. For more Portal 2 cheats and all the latest tips and tricks, just head to g4tv.com/cheat. Right now, I'm going to send it back over to Morgan.
Thanks, Kristen. Now, after the break, we're going to take a close look at the year's most ridiculous game. It is called Jerry Rice and Nitus' Dog Football. And, okay, here's the weird thing. Sadly, it was actually one of my favorite things from CES last year because there was nothing else to look at. And it's totally ridiculous. The game is real and is coming up right after this short break.
Okay, I'm not really sure why this Wii game exists, but it does, and we played it. And after you watch this, I'm sure you'll be saying the same thing we did. WTF. Do you know what the stranger than a grown man deciding to wear a dog costume for this segment? Jerry Rice lending his Hall of Fame name to a football game where the players are dogs. Now I know you might think this is some kind of twisted X-Play joke, but it's not. What the would convince the greatest wide receiver of all time to star in a hot, steaming piece of shovelware? Well, that was my first guess too. But would the company who made this game have enough money to buy Jerry Rice's dignity? I mean, the only thing more embarrassing than this game would be dressing up as a fairy and doing a commercial for a satellite TV company. My second guess why Jerry Rice is in this game, he wants to get into voice acting. There's good money in voice acting.
Choose, heads or tails. Stop that arf attempt. Out of bow wow.
Never mind. Just like Madden, there's a season mode. You can choose your plays and your quarterbacks are human. Of course, all the quarterbacks you can choose from are Hall of Fame stereotypes.
No way!
From their outfits, to their plays, to their catchphrases.
We're so going shopping later. We totally owned out there. Let's pwn these news.
What the?
Why is Elle Woods talking about poning noobs? If you're gonna do stereotypes, do them right. Those words should be coming out of Mr. Cool Guy in square number 1 or the fat guy in the kilt. Trust me, gamers love kilts. Just visit PAX next year.
That's me starting up it.
This game is so ridiculously sad that if you got it as a free gift at an office appreciation meeting, you'd still feel like, well, yeah, like that. Seriously, Jerry, what the f were you thinking? What the
Butterfingers!
Tomorrow on X-Play, we've got reviews of all the latest games, including the ultra-violent Warhammer 40k Space Marine, Driver San Francisco, and the M-rated Kinect title, Rise of Nightmares.
Plus, a belligerent MMO report.
You're probably feeling a little belligerent from that Jerry Rice video.
Yeah, that makes a little bit of Dead Island.
Yeah.
Grrr!
Thanks for watching.